Hello and welcome back to Ticker Talks, where we are using language translation and the philosophy, I should say, of reaching out to connect our multicultural communities digitally through social work, big business and beyond. I'll be having a quick chat to the Director of Polaron Language Services, and then we'll be getting into today's discussion topic, leadership and the representation of professional migrant women. So together with the team over at Polaron Language Services, let's get into it. And whilst Polaron is the sponsor of today's discussion, all views and opinions in the following program are of course our own. I would also like to acknowledge that this segment is being held on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung people, and I pay my respects to elders both past, present and future. Eva, Director of Polaron Language Services, thank you so much. Eva Hussein, welcome to the program.
Hello, Mike.
Now, what's been happening at Polaron this week? You've always got something going on.
We do, and have you realised that 2022 is just around the corner?
I have. I'm annoyed that we're talking about it because I feel like I'm in 2019 still.
Right, but there's good news.
Oh, good.
And the good news is that in 2022, in March of 2022, usually in Victoria we hold an event called Cultural Diversity Week. Mm-hmm. And in that particular week, we're going to be sponsoring a conference organised by FECA, which is Federation of Ethnic Communities Councils of Australia. And they called it Advancing Multicultural Australia. So we're very much connected with that, and we are the key sponsor. So we're very excited to be able to announce that.
Something to look forward to in 2022. Now, miscommunication of the week is something you often bring to me. What have you seen this week?
So many people that watch videos, whether it's on your phone or on a computer or iPad or whatever device you have, often see subtitles or captions. A lot of the time they're automated and not very accurate. So what you're seeing on the screen in a moment is how somebody's name was butchered. So I don't know if you watch soccer or what sport you go for. But in this particular instance, Tottenham, which is a British English sports club, there was a match being shown, and one of the players' name, let me get this right, is Song Heung-min, except that through the captions his name got so butchered that it was variedly Min-son, Him-ton, and lots of other gibberish variations. So the lesson is humans are still needed for captions. Yeah,
the technology isn't quite there yet when it comes to certain phrases and names across the board.
Exactly,
so,
yeah.
Oh, isn't that interesting? So guys, let's get into our main topic for today. And this week we're discussing leadership and representation of professional migrant women in the Australian workforce. And according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, only 47% of women from diverse backgrounds are employed in Australia. Compare that to 59% of Australian-born women. These numbers suggest that there might be a couple of barriers presenting themselves for entering the workforce. So, how can organisations better support migrant women into stepping up and into leadership roles? Joining us to talk about this today is Fabiola Campbell, the founder and CEO of Professional Migrant Women, an organisation created with the aim to reduce the gap between migration and professional employment for women across Australia. And we also have Safa heidarifar, who is a project manager at the City of Whittlesea, as well as a member of the Professional Migrant Women. She is also passionate about supporting other professional women on their journey to gaining meaningful employment. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. No, thank you guys for coming on the program. So, Safa, I'll start with you. What are the specific barriers professional migrant women are facing when trying to enter the Australian workforce?
It's a very good question, Mike. We put a step in Australia as professional migrant people aiming to continue our career, but we don't have a professional network or sometimes accurate information about Australian job market. So we start applying for all levels of jobs and we get rejected for the graduate ones because we overqualify. And let's see the upside, at least they have acknowledged our experience. But we also get rejected for the ones matching our overseas experience level, for not having the local experience, which sometimes turns into the egg-chicken cycle. Because most of the times it's not easy to get convince and get an employer to trust your skills without having the local experience. And we won't gain the local experience without getting the first job. So finally we get the job interview, and here begins another challenge. We must present all our abilities in English. And knowledge of business and professional English is different to the communication one. So here the challenge is not limited only to the language and accent, but also it applies to the
Yeah.
difference in culture of representation. So up to this point, many people begin to second guess their English knowledge, their accent, their skills, their abilities, and some might even lose their confidence. And last but not least, there are many mothers amongst us who put their
Hmm.
children before anything in the world. So they try to support their family and help them settle in their new home country before even getting started to enter the workforce. So that's another barrier. Unfortunately, most of the sometimes that women don't receive the emotional support that they deserve.
Yeah, yeah. No, some really good points in there. And of course, motherhood, which I, of course, didn't consider because I'm not a woman. But it's an important one to think about. Fabiola, how can organisations better provide leadership opportunities and representation of women from multicultural backgrounds?
Well, I believe that the best thing that organizations can do to provide opportunities for and representation for women is to stop and take a look and review what are the current policies and how their leadership roles look like at the moment. We know that we have a very diverse community, and we know that a lot of employees in many businesses have representation, have people from different multicultural backgrounds. But what is missing is that representation at the top. So what are organizations doing to bring those people from the bottom layers to the top? What opportunities are they opening? And it's about taking an intersectional approach, understanding that it's not only about, say, for example, promoting women in the workplace, but also promoting other kind of diversities, like cultural diversity, people that speak different languages or people that have different ethnicities, Aboriginal people or people with disabilities or people with different gender identities. When we talk about diversity, there's way more than meets the eye than just gender or even cultural diversity. So I think it's time for some organizations to start taking a look at that approach and multifunctional, taking a look at a diverse approach to leadership.
Yeah, yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. So, Safa, why is it so important for organisations to provide these equal opportunities for professional migrant women, and as Fabiola said, the other people as well?
Actually, diversity is one of the key factors of development. And we migrant people, because we have lived and worked in a different environment and system, we can think out of the box and we bring fresh eyes to every organization. You know, it takes courage to take such a big step out of one's comfort zone and leave everything behind and move to a new country to start from scratch. You know, some of us have owned very successful businesses back home, so we can bring too many innovative ideas to an organization. So I believe it's fair to agree that we are all very driven, brave, intelligent, enthusiastic, and motivated individuals who can be very creative in problem solving. And on the other hand, when we know that we are valued, our skills are acknowledged, it really motivates us to work harder and aim higher.
Mm. Yeah, no, some really good points. Fabiola, over to you. What opportunities are currently out there for professional migrant women? I suppose what is available with those barriers in mind?
Well, I think that the best thing that we as migrant women need to do is to get together, is to find a tribe, is to find a place where we feel that we belong. There are many opportunities, many organizations that offer such opportunities. We at Professional Migrant Women in particular, we have a very strong community of locals and migrant professionals that are willing to help each other. And I think that out of those networking opportunities and out of those connections that we have out there, that's where bigger opportunities come. And those are the kind of activities that can open more doors and more awareness, not only for local professionals and employers, but also for migrant professionals.
Yeah, Fabiola and Safa, thank you so much for joining us on the program today and unpacking some of these ideas. I want to thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Thanks, ladies.
No worries. So that actually broadened out into a wider range of topics than I thought it would, which is great. Do you want to just summarise, Eva, what we discussed today on the program?
Yeah, sure. And what inspirational ladies to really showcase what you can do. But look, many women that immigrate to Australia are firstly intimidated at a disadvantage. I'm speaking from my own experience, and in my case, I took the matters into my own hands and created my own world. But it is a shame that diversity isn't necessarily always seen as an asset, it's seen as a barrier. And women that bring their experiences, knowledge, languages, and everything else with them from another setting, from another country, can actually really benefit organisations. It is about enabling that, though, and giving people opportunities to access those opportunities, if that makes sense. And organisations such as Fabiola do facilitate it. It's a great networking space where women can talk to each other and support each other, and that's what it's all about. But I do think that organisations should be more open to people from diverse backgrounds, because that enriches the organisation in the end, I feel.
Coming from the top and sort of working its way down. Yeah, it's really important. Well, thank you so much for bringing in such wonderful guests, and another wonderful episode of Ticket Talks. And guys, if you have any questions about how you can reach your multicultural audiences, get in touch with the team over at Polaron Language Services. The contact details are on the screen. I'm Mike Loder, and thank you so much for joining us on today's discussion. I'll see you soon.